Hey guys, to anyone who is watching, I'm starting a YouTube channel. I'm going to start updating videos about my life and my quality of life with my chronic illnesses. Well, I suffer with, I think, 6 disorders. My main ones, gastroparesis, POTS syndrome. I also suffer with ADHD. I suffer with Asperger's syndrome. I was also recently diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and it has really altered my life. All of my diseases have altered my life, and I'm on disability for them. And after a few weeks of being in Fresh Start program at my church, um, thinking of probably going back to school and finding something to do with my life, because being on disability has made me nothing but depressed. I do like the insurance that comes with it, the Medicaid and Medicare, because they pay almost 100% on everything. But I just don't know how much longer I can do this type of life. If I get a job while I'm on Medicaid and Medicare, it can mess things up with my disability, and not to mention my rent will go from like 160 to 400 something, because I've seen that happen to one of my friends that lives here. Just because she was working and making more money, which is sad because these apartments are for low income people, and the government tries to take everything away when you are working. So, if I were to get a job, it would need to be one that's good enough to probably get me off disability. And after being in the Fresh Start program, I've learned that my special interests are definitely animals, like dogs, as you can see right there, and right here. That is Coco. He's my emotional support animal, and he's a very good boy. He has helped me through so much. Come here, Coco. I'm doing a live video. Come here. Look. You just love him. He has helped me today. I've had a lot of mood swings. I've been crying. I've had some stuff happen in my life that has been really hard for me to go through. And he was so sweet and licked the tears off my face. I love him. I know. But I want to tell you a little bit about my disorders too, and because you're probably not familiar with a lot of them. Well, the gastroparesis affects my stomach. So my stomach is basically paralyzed. It can't digest normal food. So I'm reliant on a feeding tube. Luckily, I've had a huge weight gain the past 2 months. I went from 107, I think, well, actually, the lowest I got was like 106 when I had a stomach virus, to 118. So that's really good news. I've been able to not be connected 24 hours anymore. And I've just been drinking Ensure shakes when I'm not connected, and my weight's still been sticking, so I'm praying this lasts, fingers crossed, because I always gain, then I lose, then I gain, then I lose. It's been like that the past 6 years. I have my good moments, then I have my very bad moments, and I'm just hoping that this lasts a while, the weight just stays put. Also, I have POTS syndrome, and what that is it just means my blood pressure is just too low, and my body needs a lot of fluid just to function, basically. I get dehydrated real easily. I'm supposed to be drinking 2 to 3 liters of fluid a day, but it's just really hard when you're full all the time, your stomach doesn't work, and you're trying to get calories by mouth. It's like my stomach can only move so fast and hold so much, so I've been lucky to drink Gatorade. I drink like 4 of those a day. So, I'll go more into the POTS in another video, but on this one I want to focus more on my mental health, because that's been the bigger issue here lately. But anyways, borderline personality disorder basically has 9 hallmark symptoms, and I meet almost every one of them. I'm not very big on the suicidal one, because I haven't had any, self-harm, like cutting or anything like that, but I do get the suicidal thoughts. So I never have a plan, but it's just the thought that's what I suffer with the most in that field. I know, I treat him like a baby. I love you so much. You're a very good doggy. You need a haircut. So I'm on a lot of medicine for my BPD, is what they refer to it as short. It's like bipolar, but it's different. It's more tied to relationships than just out of the blue random mood swings. So I get triggered or feel abandoned or neglected in any way, then that's when I'll start getting angry and things will go south from there. Um, my therapist believes that it's caused by my rough past. When I was 10, my parents divorced, and it caused me a lot of anxiety, and I got real angry, and I feel like I just never got better, and things just get gradually worse as the years go by, and then being sick with all these diseases has just brought me to an all-time low. That's actually my favorite band, but it really has, and I'm just trying to cope is all I'm trying to do. I don't have a lot of financial support, so that's been kind of hard. Living on disability is not easy. Um, another way BPD affects my life is that I'm afraid of being alone. That's my biggest trigger. And I feel like it's worse than my Asperger's because most people with mild autism like being alone, but for me, I hate being alone. It just makes me feel horrible about myself. So whenever I have someone over here, I feel better. Like I crave tons of in-person support, more than the average person does. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm real needy. And I'm not able to see my boyfriend. We're in a long distance relationship, so that really hurts as well. That's been real hard on me. Um, I get too attached to people. That's another symptom of my BPD that affects my life greatly. When I find that someone is real similar to me in any way and we share the same interests, special interests, I get very attached. And when something happens and they leave, I'm like mentally destroyed. I've had a lot of ups and downs with friends my whole life. Had a hard time maintaining friendships because of, well, both Asperger's and BPD. That's just been undiagnosed for most of my life. So I did the mental testing in September, is what showed borderline personality disorder. My therapist went over it with me. And that's another thing. We fear abandonment. Like if someone doesn't respond to a text message that I send them, I literally feel like I did something wrong. And I will get all worked up about it, and my mind will race for hours on end. And I'll feel like, oh, well, they're just going to leave too, or I said something stupid, or they don't really like me, they're just being nice. I get a lot of paranoid thoughts, like black and white thinking, like, I'll get too close to you, but then if you say I'm too close to you, then I'll be too far from you. So there's no, like, in between with people with my mental illness. It's been hard for me to be open about because it gets a bad reputation. There's some people that have it worse than others. My therapist said that mine is a mild case. That's why I haven't ever been in a psych ward or anything like that, but I've came close to it. 2 years ago, I was in a really bad, scary place, and I called my sister, and she came to my apartment and had to stay with me, and I think my dad said, if you don't go to your therapist tomorrow, we're taking you to Baptist. So it was really bad. I don't ever want to be in that state of mind again, but I still get it a lot. I would say it also affects me in ways because I'm also too afraid to get close to people. Just because I'm afraid they're going to leave. I've had a lot of people leave my life the whole time I've been alive. Some of it's also because I have special interests that not a lot of people have. I have a hard time relating to other people, and I find that I do better with adults than people who are around my age range. That's been another thing, and this is more Asperger's related, I think, but I'm really into stuff that's too young for my age. Like, I'm 25 years old now, and I like stuff that teenagers like. I'm more attracted to young stuff. Young TV shows, stuff that doesn't cause me a lot of anxiety. If I were to watch, like, a show on Netflix that everyone's raving about, I probably would either daydream the whole time, or my anxiety would be triggered. So I have to watch stuff that's kind of friendly. I'm not going to say that with everything, because I like some movies that are real dark, that are very, adult-like, but it's not the case with everything. I lean more towards Disney type stuff. And I would say, I'm trying to think of more symptoms. I've met some good friends on support groups on Facebook that have all the same diseases I have. I have one special friend named Gina, who is an online Facebook friend and has been with me through everything, even though she lives in Chicago. She's been a good friend to talk to, and she's got BPD as well, and knows the struggle. Has gastroparesis, had a feeding tube at one point, has POTS. She's got a channel. You should definitely look her up. I think it's just Gina. She's really cool. Just wanted to give her a shout out. I would say also another main symptom of BPD is we don't know our worth. We have very low self-worth, and that's also why we're attracted to things and people that are not a good match for us. We just feel like we are undeserving of love, but then we go for moments where we think we deserve way better. And a lot of people with BPD tend to be real manipulative. I can't pronounce that word, sorry. And like to try to make a person feel a certain way when they get triggered, and if that person doesn't, start to feel a certain way, then the person with BPD thinks that something is seriously wrong, and it makes them escalate even more, and it will just continue to plummet. I am on a few meds for my BPD. I take Klonopin when I need it for anxiety and just to sleep because my brain won't turn off. I have a lot of racing thoughts from it. And my illnesses also make it hard for me to have a normal sleep schedule. I don't sleep normally at all. I sleep with my air conditioning 65 or lower. Last night it was as low as 63. So I'm a hot mess right here. I'm also on an antipsychotic. I don't take it every day because it will make me sleep for like 2 days straight if I take the full dose. So I try to take half of it when I need it. I've had a really rough day today, so I'm going to take maybe half or less than a half just so I can go to sleep tonight. It's just been a really rough day with my schooling and stuff. Well, church schooling. I do get random mood swings. I feel like since my BPD is so mild, I don't really, I'm more of a quiet BPD person. I don't like to call people out loud. Like, I actually hate confronting people, but when it gets that bad, it's not pretty. Like, you don't want to see that type of side. You could find more videos on BPD on Gina's channel. She's had a lot of good videos that explained it really well and how it affects her life. And it's also different than bipolar because people with BPD will go from extremely happy within a few minutes to extremely sad, and it's always due to relationship. If it's bipolar, those mood swings are out of the blue. They're not specifically tied to relationships. Those emotions aren't tied to that. It's just random. But I hope this video is an inspiration to y'all, and I will make another video when I can get my book in front of me and just read a little bit more up on it. I'm having a hard time explaining it myself, but I know a lot about it. But you have a good day, and I hope you enjoyed my video. And here's Coco.